Okay, so May 1st, 2001, an intern goes missing. A Federal Bureau of Prisons intern named Chandra who wanted to be an FBI agent, she disappears. Okay, and now at the time she'd been meeting with her House of Representatives from back home in San Diego. She'd been meeting with him, Gary Condon. And so then she goes disappearing, and they like, oh, he's dating her, and so he killed her. I'm like, okay, we don't even know where she is yet, and they're already looking like, okay, well, the thing was that when she disappeared, they know right when she disappeared because they have, her laptop, and she was searched the local jogging trails, and then they got witness, and she went out jogging. She never, and no one seen her again. And so, but at the time, at those exact hours, Gary Condon is meeting with Vice President Dick Cheney. Like, not in a secret alley somewhere. No, it's part of some, he had this energy task force, and that's what they were meeting over. And, so they know absolutely, it's like the only better alibi you could have on the whole fucking planet than being with Dick Cheney is like being with the president. Because like, okay, whatever these people, they write all that stuff down. They say, oh, write down Gary Condon just went in his office. Oh, now he just came back out again. Take pictures of him, make sure we know everything that happens around the vice president in case the vice president disappears. We know exactly who took him. Anyhow, so they make the huge deal. It's like, well, actually they weren't. They were kind of going quietly, and then but Chandra's mother comes from San Diego, and she hires some fancy lawyer, Billy Martin, I think his name was, and she hires him, hires their firm to do a PR campaign. It's like, find my daughter, find out what happened. So they say, well, we got to tell them something. Okay, well, tell them, okay, well, see, the thing is, at the time, Enron, at this exact time, Enron is ripping off San Diego or California's energy markets through like Wall Street type gimmicks, derivative type gimmicks. They raised the price of their energy up like twice and triple fold. They made it so that there were they called them rolling blackouts in the middle of a heat wave. And meanwhile, these Enron guys are making billions of dollars off of ripping off the energy. They don't. It's like they're making tons of money, and California is running out of electricity. It's got less electricity for a lot more money, and it has absolutely nothing to do with real market forces or anything. It's a total scam. And old people that need air conditioning were dying back in Chandra's home district. So she goes over and talks to her congressman who lives like right there in the same neighborhoods. And he has his place here and he's got his place back home just like she does. And says, well, this stuff going on back home, and I've been doing some research because I'm going to be a FBI agent, and it looks like there's some Enron is causing all this crap. Now, the thing about Cheney's energy task force is that it's like discreetly called the Enron Task Force, because it was formed like, just before this, when Bush came into office. Because Enron at the time, on May 1st, Enron is getting ready to collapse. And that's a Texas firm that's was the biggest donors to the first Bush old man president and to the second one. And they have all kind of shady deals going on. And the reason that the company is getting ready to bankrupt is because of one of the shady deals. And that's why they're ripping off California's energy markets, because Gary Condon has got the only bill in the country that's going to hurt Enron and cause them to collapse, when the whole, because the publicity is hurting their products. And so that's why they're ripping off San Diego, because it's they're assholes, we're screwing them over, and they're calling us on it, and our whole company's gonna go belly up. And so they put Bush and Cheney in office to fix this, or we'll snitch on you, or we won't give you no more money, whatever, both. And so he's meeting with Cheney is like the Enron task force, and this is who Gary Condon's meeting about, and I'm sure he's telling them, you better fix this shit or I'm going to make it. Well, then this is Cheney and Bush, so they're like, oh yeah? Well, we'll see about that. And the next thing you know, Gary Condon, everybody's coming, why did you kill Chandra? Why did you kill Chandra? Meanwhile, nobody knows where Chandra is. So Condon can't say Cheney's got something to do with this, because obviously she's still alive. There's no point if you kill her, then he can snitch. If you don't kill her, then he'll keep his mouth shut, because he don't want her getting killed. And so the whole thing goes on for till September 11th. It was it's like if you're young, you have to understand, before September 11th, there wasn't any news in America. It's that's hard to understand. I don't mean there was no news. I mean, today there's more news in a week than there would be in a year back then, or in a month. There wasn't some crazy, insane shit happening every single day that everybody's yelling about. Now and then some crazy. What I'm saying is this whole saga with Chandra Levy dominated the whole national news for the whole summer. And then, while they tried to find her and they searched all the place where she went running, and they didn't find her body, with dogs and everything, and it was really, really hot, so she'd be out there just, rotting and smelling, but they didn't find her. And then they find her a year later in woods that had been searched 3 times by cadaver dogs. And it was found by a guy walking his little poodle dog or whatever. And then I never saw a good case for they couldn't figure out a lot of stuff about her, because the animals had eaten her, and the bugs, and there wasn't much left of her when they got there. And so the whole thing was shaky as crap. And then meanwhile, it's the big story, and I'm following it, and I got it all figured out, and I just written a paper and was going around spreading it around here in D.C. And it was a September 11th. I'm sitting here like, I got these motherfuckers, man, because I'm getting responses. People are connecting dots. I'm sitting here, and then the first plane flies into the building, and then the second, and it's like the whole story went away. Everything became 911, and Enron crashed like that day, but no, they covered that up. Good.